Just on West Ham at home then, just before
Yeah.
we move on to the last bit. It always used to be a game that like you could quite safely say we were going to win. I think we've beat West Ham more times than any other team in the Premier League that we've beaten, I think. But if you look at like we've lost 5 of the last 10 at home against them. Which is really, that's really quite a bad record at home for Everton, even over the last 10 years, which haven't been great. So this one, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because I think we're on the same point in the league. We're ahead of them on goal difference. It's, I don't know. I don't even know what way this is going to go. It's quite hard to call, isn't it?
It is hard to call, yeah. And it's interesting to hear Moyes' comments. I think at the end of the game against Wolves, so I think it was associated with, or it was part of his pre-match ahead of this game, talking about his. He didn't say this verbatim, but it was sort of like his love affair with West Ham. On the other hand of that, he should be quite ruthless for us, knowing what they've got, knowing what they're all about, knowing how they should play, knowing what Graham Potter's like as a manager. Everton should be in good state there to go and win this game. I just hope it's not flat, Les. I just hope it's not. I'd take a 3-3 draw than I would than 0-0 boring. Do you know what I mean? I want to see what we've continued to do. I want to see that progress the way we watch us play. Yeah. And even that game against Wolves, you'd probably say, yeah, it was relatively boring, probably the worst game we could watch, apart from the Bournemouth one in the FA Cup since Moyes has been back. But even then, if you put that in context, it wasn't anywhere near a poor Sean Dyche game, was it?
Because Jared Branthwaite's been left out. He's not had a recall, which I find a little bit odd because he's had a good season. Dan Burn from Newcastle's been called up. That was the one that caught my eye first, and thinking, how's Dan Burn been called up ahead of Jared Branthwaite? To be fair, he's a right back, so it's not pretty much like for like. And his stats kind of measure up with Branthwaite. They're very similar stats, although Dan Burn's played more games this season. The one that stuck out for me, though, is Jarell Quansah from the Reds getting called up ahead of Jared Branthwaite. Now, we know he plays in an infinitely better side, but that really shouldn't be a reason to call up a player who was clearly inferior to Jared Branthwaite. I've got some stats here. Branthwaite's made 21 appearances to Quansah's 10. Branthwaite has kept 7 clean sheets. Quansah's kept none. Blocks 17 for Branthwaite, 4 for Quansah. Interceptions 23 v 5. Tackles 30 v 9. Successful tackles 17 v 7. Clearances 130 to 12. It's like, even if you just look at the stats, which don't always tell the full story, it's mad that, isn't it?